have that amicable relationship.
Yes.
I'm sure they miss you.
They do miss me, yeah.
Yeah.
They
But it
call
sounds
me
like
and
a
ask
better
me.
Sounds like a better opportunity.
It's a great opportunity. It was a very nice financial increase. So
And then you could probably move into when they retire or step down. Or
exactly.
step
Yeah,
aside.
there's definitely that
They need a
opportunity, and
And they probably are a lot of men. They need some women.
it's funny. It's just, yeah, there's so few women. That's my husband. I can call him later.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure it wasn't the girls, because,
That's good.
yep.
Wonderful. Okay.
Okay, I think
ready?
we can start.
Okay.
Good to go.
So you just tell us your name,
And spell.
the firm, and I won't worry about the details. Yeah, and just spell your name for us too.
Do you want me to say my name, spell it, and then say the firm name?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anytime?
All right.
Okay. I'm Lisa Sherman. It's Lisa, Lisa Sherman, Sherman. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Seminoff, Ormsby, Greenberg, and Torsha, with their main office in Huntington Valley. And
The type of law?
oh, and I practice. Sorry, I practice
okay.
in the trust and estates department. So I work with estate planning, estate administration, some transactional orphans court litigation, guardianships.
Could you do that all over again and then just go right into
Sure.
the estate law? And
Got
wills
it.
and things?
All right, my name's Lisa. Or does that my name or it?
You
Okay.
You can start into it.
Again, from the top.
Okay.
Yeah, right from the top.
Sorry.
That's okay. No worries.
My name is Lisa Sherman. It's Lisa. Sherman is Sherman. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Seminoff, Ormsby, Greenberg, and Torsha in Huntington Valley, PA. I work in our estates department. I practice trust and estate law with the estate administration, estate planning, orphans court litigation, guardianships, and similar types of areas.
How long have you been involved, or how long have you known about MCAP?
Well, I've been involved as a volunteer, as an advocate for MCAP for just 1 year. I've known about the program for many years. I've, friends with Mary Pugh, and highly involved in the Montgomery County Bar Association. I'm currently a board of director and on the executive board, of which Mary is as well. So, we get to hear a lot about the MCAP program and, all the benefits and how wonderful it is. So I decided about a year ago to take the training and get more involved.
Is it different because of you being involved in the estate side and it not working with children? Tell me a little bit about that interesting dichotomy.
Well, from my perspective, I didn't really think that I would be a great advocate because I do work, in a area of practice that doesn't involve children, doesn't involve litigation. I do a lot of transactional work, so I really didn't think it was a great fit for me. But I decided after, having a conversation with Mary as well as some other people who have been involved in the MCAP program to get a little more information and see if it's some way that I could get involved. There are two definitely different disciplines, but I do feel just, with my work, a lot of time we work with elderly people, we've work with families who've lost loved ones, and so I definitely have, I feel, compassion and patience. And so, I brought that part of it to, to the MCAP program. The children are, definitely in need of people who can be a voice for them. And so I felt I definitely could do that. I just felt I maybe wasn't the best person because I don't go to court all that often and I don't have that litigation experience that, I felt that you needed. But, they are very good at training you and, giving you guidance, and there is a wonderful support system through the MCAP program so that you don't feel like you're just out there on your own.
What would you tell other attorneys or advocates why to get involved? And because it seems it's grown on you.
Yeah, I mean, I've only, like I said, only been involved for a year, and I've, had a few cases that I've had the opportunity to really, make a difference, and that's really what I think the biggest benefit and, selling point of of being an advocate is that, even with my area of practice, which is not, representing, people in court on a regular basis, that you can make a difference, by just being there for a child who's in need. They just are so wanting someone to listen to them, and they want someone to believe them, and they are looking for someone, I think, to trust. And so you can be that person, because the only one that you're representing is the child. You don't have to have involvement with whatever the nasty parts of the case are, whether it's a neglect, abuse, whatever the child involvement in the case is you're just there to be their voice. So that's really what I've I can't even say enjoyed, but gotten a good feeling out of, is that I know that I'm there helping a child who otherwise wouldn't have someone there for them.
We spoke briefly about the professional and then the personal, and I was really intrigued with the way you spoke about the personal. Could you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I don't generally get involved in, volunteering, to advance my career or to advance my professional life. And I don't know that I've gotten anything professionally out of doing this. Really, I've gotten the personal reward of, being able to help a child and, being able to understand a little bit of what they're going through so that you can help them, work through the process. I mean, going to court or, being involved in the legal system is extremely scary. And I mean, even as an attorney, we get nervous going into court. So imagine a child who, is in the throes of some type of, conflict or, abuse or neglect. And, here they are in a very strange, place that they've never been before. And so if they have someone by their side, I think that, it gives them some level of comfort, even if it's not going to, take away all the issues that they're going through. So, being that person is just an amazing thing. I had this one teenage girl that I gave my cell phone to, and she would text me all the time. It was great to, to be there and, know that, I was being able to help her, and that, if she needed something, that she could just text me. So that's the personal reward. It's, it's all about, what you can give, not necessarily what you're getting back. But that's, that's what I've gotten out of the program, and, and continue and hope to continue to help with the MCAP program and serve as an advocate.
How do you work with the children to gain their trust? You just spoke about it building.
Right. It's, it depends obviously on the age of the children. So, I mean, when you have an older child or like a teenage or child, it's just a matter of, they, I think, potentially even are harder to get to trust because, I think they're very suspicious. With younger children, there's still a little bit of suspicion, but I think it's, they haven't been exposed to things along the way that, make them more suspicious. So it's just a matter of listening, not judging them and letting them tell you their story without them thinking that you don't believe them. So it's really just, helping them through the process in whatever way you can. If it's a matter of just, being a voice for them, if it's a matter of just sitting, knowing that you're the friendly face that they have after they have to, give testimony or, even just appear in court, then that's what you're there for. So I think that it varies between the cases and the children, but it's just really getting them to understand that you're not there for anything else but to be there for them.
How else can you help these children and their families through these hard times?
Well, again, I think, every case is going to be different. In some cases, it's just, is just working, walking them through what process they are going to be going through, whether it's a protection from abuse case or a criminal case. And in some cases, you have a little bit more active role. But a lot of it is just, helping them understand how the legal process works. And sometimes it's, it's just sitting in the courtroom with them, or, it's being, letting the judge know that you've, what your role is, that you're in agreement with whatever, settlement is being presented, or that, you are actually, involved, but, if there's a criminal case, just involved in what's going on. But being able to explain the process a little bit to them, and helping them understand why you're there, I think that's really one of the benefits, because even though I don't go to court on a regular basis, and when I do, it's orphans court, it's not criminal court or on the civil side. I do obviously have some experience with the process, and how what the judge might be looking or expecting, and witness testimony, and what's involved. So from that perspective, I think you give them a little bit more information.
How do you find the time to help out these children in crisis?
Well, I'll tell you. It's demanding. I mean, I work full time. I have 2 children of my own. I'm highly involved with a lot of other charitable organizations. So you make the time. The one nice thing with the MCAP program is that it works with your schedule. So, I might get an email with, a case that's going to be held on later that week, and there's lots of times I have to say no to that because I have already, appointments or, hearings of myself. So from that perspective, it's, when I can make sure that I have the time, to sit with the child and understand, what the case is and what the needs are, because I definitely don't want to put myself in a position where I'm shortchanging the process for them. So, I work around whatever my schedule is, and sometimes I will move things if I can. But sometimes you do things in the evening or very early in the morning, or in a couple cases where we can communicate electronically when children are old enough, you can do it that way. So it gives you a little more flexibility. But if it's important enough, you make the time.
How do you help these children recognize that there's hope?
Well, I think by just being there for them, and being the friendly face, or advocating for them, knowing that you're there in their corner, that you have their back, starts the process of getting them a little hope. I think a lot of times, they've been through different parts of the court system, whether it's where they are currently, or they've had prior experiences through from other actions or conflicts that they've been involved in. And so I think they fear what's going to happen and don't trust the process. So I don't think it happens immediately, and I think it's just a matter of making them understand that there is someone there for them, that you're not there, you're not going to hurt them, and you're also not trying to push them into a situation that they don't want to be. And so that they have, can open up to you if they want to, if that's what they need to do, so that they have somebody to look forward to, when they're at, in court, or, with everything going on, that they can always reach out to. Now, sometimes they're younger children, in which case it's, you don't have as much access to them, because, it's dependent upon the, parent or the grandparent or the caregiver or whoever is responsible for them. So, but I think it's just a matter of them being able to understand that, you're there just for them, and, you're not trying to take a position with or against their parent, unless, of course, that's what's necessary for, to help in the conflict or in the case they're involved in.
That particular thing leads to the kind of horrors that you can see, and what you do in those particular situations, because there are those that are present.
I mean, it's overwhelming and just unbelievable what happens sometimes to children. I mean, it just tears at your heart that some of the things that they have been exposed to, have been involved with. There's, a lot of times, even though I'm not involved in the case, you'll get some of the information on whether you can handle the case, and, it's abuse, neglect, it's, sexual abuse. I mean, it runs the gamut. I mean, sometimes it's just a matter of, the child is just being kind of the pawn in a parent's, fight. And unfortunately, they are just not getting, the attention, or, they're just not getting, the support that they need. But a lot of the cases, good portion of the cases do involve, children who are abused and just, are just not respected. So, it's a horrible thing to see, and, to learn about all of these cases that this is going on. But, that's why it's so important. That's why the MCAP program is so amazing, is that, there are people who are willing to, to take time. They're not getting paid, but they're standing up and advocating for a child who otherwise isn't going to have someone for them, because, they may have, a lot of conflict in their family, and just they may be separated from their parents or siblings, people that they had relied on. So, if you have someone who's going to be there and going to help you as much as they possibly can, I think that's the most important thing.
Probably the most important aspect of your advocacy is helping these children, beginning to heal, offer a bit of protection, learn to trust, gain self-respect. Any other things you'd want to elaborate on how that helps them?
Well, I think it's, I can't even imagine having, someone that you've trusted, you've, looked up to, whoever this person is who's hurting them, whether it's a family member, whether it's a friend of the family, they're innocent, these children. And so to have someone that, they've relied upon and trusted, let them down, or, put them in a position of, pain is just an unbelievable place for them to be. And, now they're thrown into an unknown, arena of legal battles, or, talking to a judge for the first time in their lives. So I really think it's a matter of just being able to support them and to listen to them. A lot of it is just no one's listened to them. No one believes their story, or they think that they're acting out, or they're telling a story for attention. And so they just need someone who is going to listen and who's going to stand up for them, so that they feel enabled, or have the power to speak to the judge, to tell what's going on in their life. So that's really, I think, the biggest part about it is just, letting them know that you're there for them, and hopefully that they are going to be able to, trust you and know that you're going to be able to, hopefully bring them out of the situation that they're in. It's not always going to be the perfect answer. A lot of them, as bad as it is, I think, don't want to leave that comfort zone that they've had, but, it's most important for them, to be in a safe place. And so that's what we hope to do.
What does MCAP embody in you then, if I was to ask you, like, in your summary of that?
Well, like I said, I was a little hesitant to get involved in the MCAP program, because I always feel like if you're going to do something, you want to be able to know what you're doing, and you want to be able to, know that you're going to be able to make a difference and be able to help. And so, when I first, decided that I would get involved, and I sat through the training program, it was just amazing to me, like how everyone can help. I don't practice in the areas that, these, most of these cases fall in. But even I, who don't have that background and have practiced for, over 25 years in trust and estate law, have been able to make a difference. I've been able to help, children get to a better place, and, to be there for them, to answer questions that they have, to just, be able to text, as someone that they, know that I'm there for them, that I am, going to, support them, I'm going to stand up for them. And I think that's really what embodies the MCAP program, is just knowing, that you can make a difference. And even if it's only a couple cases a year, that's a couple more children that you've helped than otherwise would, have that opportunity. So that's really what I think, the program's all about, is, giving the voice to children who otherwise don't have a voice in the system that they've been in.
Is there anything that I may not have posed or that you would love to share with us about MCAP, children, the work you do, and could just...
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's such a great program, and because there's, the ability to help or the ability to get involved in a case, is really, there's so many cases, so that to the extent that, there's, a case that, fits in your schedule and, you think you can help, I mean, then everyone should be involved. I think that there are some people who have a lot more expertise in this area and probably, can take on more cases. But, as I told you, I mean, I'm in an area that completely doesn't fall within the parameters of the program, and I'm still making a difference. I have 2 children of my own, and I would think and hope that if anything ever, happened to them, that they would, even if they couldn't come to me, that there would be someone that they could go to, and I think that the children who are involved in all the, cases that MCAP has, there are so many of them that if everyone, in the legal area could take one case, that would just, make a humongous difference for the program and for, all these cases that are out there. I mean, there are a lot of attorneys that I know who are involved in the program, and they take on, more cases than some others. But that's not what it's about. It's about everybody pitching in and everybody helping. And so even if it's 1 case a year or it's 2 cases a year, I think that's what, would be wonderful for the program and, and the children who really are the ones who are, in need here.
That's good.
Yeah. Anything
that
that
works.
you would want to add? I know she spoke beautifully about
Yeah.
Mary,
Yeah.
so
I think we have everything. Yeah, that was good.
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
All right.
Yeah.
Wonderful. It just
Are you
rolled.
sure?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
no, that's good.
Let's
I
try.
was just, he brought a question in and I didn't ask